Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. The drama is definitely heating up, folks. Sweet Carolyn, the co-CEO of Alameda Research, the company that SBF lent all that FTX money to, has shown up in New York City. Sweet Caroline, womp 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 for Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, this location is supposedly close to the FBI building in New York and the Attorney General's office. Might be some foreshadowing there. You know, if you come back to the US, you're likely to actually be detained. So the only reason she would actually come back from Hong Kong, where that's where she was when this began, is to actually have to testify against SBF on an immunity deal. So essentially, I think the FBI is going to go after the people who will talk the fastest and squeal the loudest. And since Carolyn Ellison has already given an interview where she implicated SBF and the other main perpetrators of FTX, I think she's here to talk to local law enforcement about the same thing. Now, I think this even lessens the chances that SBF will actually come back to the States, because that testimony on December 13th is probably going to be after Carolyn starts squealing about the internal matters of FTX. So the feds will already have all this information in a big testimony against SBF at this point. So the criminal charges are actually piling up. However, let me actually segue from this and say, I actually think the civil charges in this case is actually more important, because the criminal charges will put these guys behind bars. But putting these guys behind bars doesn't do any good to the people that lost a lot of money. Maybe some vengeance, but it won't give them their money back. The civil charges are actually what's going to be the most important, in my opinion, because those are the ones that are going to assess and assign damages and maybe get people their money back if they have any money left at all, which is doubtful at this point. But let's not forget, even though SBF says he's down to his last $100,000, let's actually really delve into that. Him and his parents have spent something like $400 million on Bahamas property. Now, I'm not really sure if they're going to be forced to liquidate that. I think they should be forced to liquidate that and pay back, and basically pay back the investors into FTX. Not sure if that's going to happen or not. But the civil charges, I don't know if people will be able to go after their personal assets rather than the company assets, which are pretty much defunct right now. And if they're owned by his parents instead of him, well, that's another layer. I do think the bulk of the resources right now should actually be civil asset forfeiture. And I don't really know if they have that in the Bahamas, but definitely their properties worldwide. It's going to be very complicated because those properties are probably not in the United States, so the U.S. is going to have to do some diplomatic relations. But a lot of the effort should actually be focused on the civil damages and not so much the criminal charges. I think the criminal charges can come afterwards, and I think if Carolyn spills the beans, if Carolyn spills the beans, I think it'll be very easy to implicate SBF. But the prisoner's dilemma has broken down for the people at FTX. The first one is already squealing, and the rest will soon follow. So it's going to be a tough time for them, because a lot of countries do actually have extradition treaties with the United States, including the Bahamas. And if they get enough information from Carolyn, they will actually be able to press charges against SBF, and I don't think the Bahamas will have too much of a reason to keep him there. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.